Stosh Vlog fans, today we've got a special vlog cast at the Stosh YouTube. We're going to be talking about the connection, however small or however great, between Gravity's Rainbow and James Bond. The modern era James Bond. The Daniel Craig James Bond. From Casino Royale up till Spectre. Now, Gravity's Rainbow is probably one of the most complex books of the modern era, if not all time. So, I'm only going to go into it a little bit. I hope to vlog again about it. I did another one, Gravity's Rainbow's unlikely connection to the conspiracy author James Shelby Downard. This will be, I promise, equally as strange. Now, Gravity's Rainbow is equal to in size and scope to Ulysses by James Joyce. The protagonist, Tyrone Slothrop, is different than Bond. Bond, to me, despite him being pit against the all-knowing, all-powerful Illuminati-like group, Spectre, and any and all intelligence agencies that go against MI6, he still manages to vanquish Spectre time and again. Whereas Slothrop is an American lieutenant in the U.S. Army, and he is, by all accounts, a much more normal man than Bond. And there's a strange thing, whereas it's like he's been grown and conditioned by the all-powerful oligarch structure, the superstructure. The ultimate Illuminatist group. I forget what they call it, the Priests. So, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes at the same time. So, Gravity's Rainbow is about the struggle against the effects of war and all its processes in life. James Bond is a tribute to the British and I suppose the American espionage system. 007 is an occult throwback to the mysterious Dr.John D of the Elizabethan era. 007. Slothrop, conditioned and grown by society, the strange part of society. He has the occult power to, whenever he makes a sexual conquest, the V-2 rockets seem to attack. So he becomes of great interest to the intelligence services. Bond is a spy, so he seduces women to vanquish the enemies of the crown. And he's licensed to kill, right? He's MI6 licensed to kill. So, there's numerous metaphysical themes in Gravity's Rainbow. Bond's metaphysical themes is that he's a weapon and he destroys anybody who gets in the way of the Queen and country, right? Gravity's Rainbow is a lot more complicated than that. Sometimes it's hard to tell a little bit from protagonist to antagonist. There's all cartels, conglomerates, and organizational structures seem to be not exactly friendly to Tyrone. Paranoia is prevalent in both Bond and Gravity's Rainbow, and they're both heavily tied to British intelligence, obviously. Although everything seems to be against James Bond, he does basically, uh, you know, assassinate his way through it. In Casino Royale, he meets Vespa, Ava Green, and they, don't get along, whatever, but they eventually become lovers and in love and marry or whatnot. There's a lot up against Bond in that first installment of the new, modern, updated, more politically correct, you might say, Bond Casino Royale. There's some humor in it, but in the original Bond, it's a little more campy, right? The updated Casino Royale has sort of a pinch of reality to it and a little bit more sinister. In particularly when they talk about call and put options in September 11th, and he gets a chip implanted into him. So there's a lot of sort of semi-realistic, sinister stuff in Casino Royale. But Bond punches through, and although tragically Vespa, I believe her name is, played by Ava Green, feels that she has to check out because the enemies of Spectre are too powerful, and there was a love interest and so forth. Sorry if I got some of the plot lines screwed up, but I'm more interested in the superstructure of Spectre versus Bond. And he becomes even more weaponized against the forces against him. As he returns in Quantum of Silence, you are introduced to another cartel member who faces off against Bond. Now, Slothrop goes through lovers. He does drugs. He's a flawed character. Nevertheless, the occult references and the metaphysics are far superior to James Bond in Pynchon's Gravity's Rainbow, which is, again, unlike, kind of like Melville and Ulysses, and it's been compared to Foster Wallace's, lightly compared to Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest, which is a huge tome of kind of psychosis or whatever. There's a Kabbalah and Feast of the Transfiguration, Christianity references. There's the rainbow itself seems to have to do with the Mandela. There's references to the so-called ice saints. Out of the depths I have cried to thee, O Lord. I think they refer to that psalm. Obviously, there's the kind of references to the Great White Brotherhood. The MI6's occult battle with the Nazis is hinted upon, in my opinion. But Bond's sexual life of conquest of women has been toned down in the modern era. In fact, in Quantum of Solace, when he makes a mistake and takes a lover, the cartel member guy tragically eliminates her. Tyrone Slothrop just kind of goes from lover to lover, and there's a lot of emptiness in it. He has a friend, Roger Mexico, who takes on a lover, Jessica Swan Lake, and Slothrop just kind of goes through lovers and friends and wanders. Bond, M kind of comments that, again, when that lover of his is killed by the Spectre group member, M, now played by a female, Jodie, Miss Dench, kind of comments that, you just go through people and they die all around you. In Quantum of Solace, at some point she comments on it, and Bond has become more cold, more murderous, more weaponized in Quantum, because she asked him about Vespa, and he's like, she doesn't matter. There is a scene that struck me when he confronts the character played by Olga Kurylenko, the incredibly beautiful Ukrainian actress, as a friend. She's not a lover. They are in many ways on equal levels and are dealing with revenge, actually, as the cartel member that's doing business with the Spectre man. He's an incredible actor. All the Bond villains, of course, are. She's after him, and when they meet by mistake in Haiti, they realize that they've got mutual targets involved, and it shows also in espionage the level at which friends and enemies and things get forgiven, because the Italian operative that Bond goes to see in Quantum, who Bond took out in Casino Royale, they forgive each other and they go on to take on this greater evil. And this is spoiler alert again. If you haven't seen these, spoiler alert, I'm giving out a lot of information. Perhaps don't watch this vlog. Whoops, I'll write spoiler alert in the liner notes. But to make a long story short, they confront the same foe in Quantum. Quantum, like Gravity's Rainbow, though, Quantum of Solace gives that idea of Spectre as being just an untouchable, secretive group, especially when they meet in the Opera House, and all the world's intelligence agencies meet there in the super group Spectre. That is definitely a theme in the wonderfully complex Gravity's Rainbow again. That all of the paranoid prevalence in the book can't be squared away. The organizational structures are too powerful. He sort of brings into some light something which is incredibly fascinating to me, which is an occult terminology, an egregore. The spelling is Egregore. This is something that I think could be happening now with the internet. In some cases, that a type of energy or thought form is created by the energy of groups in the minds of people. That doesn't really happen in Bond until we get to Skyfall. in Casino Royale, when Bond rescues people from the giant aircraft being blown up, there's always anonymity, and Bond is always hidden from the public view. But actually, in Skyfall, when the MI6 headquarters is attacked, we notice that this attack is, of course, unavoidably visible to the public. In that one, I guess, antagonist and protagonist is a little bit blurred, because the Spectre cartel member in this one is actually a former MI6 operative who takes on Bond and M. Bond, M, and Q, and the whole MI6 crew. Which is interesting. Now, he is formidable enough that he vanquishes the boss of Bond and almost defeats the entire MI6. But he gives a story as to why he's so angry. Basically, he was betrayed by the company. Well, the company is the agency. He's betrayed by the MI6, betrayed by the spy masters of the Queen. Again, MI6 is just as strange in real life as it is in the Bond movie, and it is loaded with occultism. It's the brainchild of Dr. John Dee, the real life astrologer, occultist, and defender of the crown, which in the Olympic Games you might have noticed that the Queen herself actually walks with the actor Daniel Craig to symbolically usher in the importance of Bond, the character, and of Dee himself as Mum. But, as in real life, does not the MI6 always win? Or are they just a shadow of themselves and not what they used to be? I don't know. Pynchon's Proverbs to the Paranoids indicates a biblical connection. I'm not sure of that biblical connection in MI6. Definitely CIA's the truth shall set you free proverb, John, is more apparent. I don't know about the MI6. Sorry if I'm blaspheming you British, but it's more of a all-seeing eye type of all-knowing thing for MI6 and MI5 is not. But of course, that would carry on to the younger, in some ways, that although we were enemies with Great Britain, certainly I'm sure OSS and then CIA has a lot that they learned from the older MI6. The best of the best. I am really rambling. I hope you're getting something on this. Now, the octopus tentacles everywhere really comes to bear in not Skyfall, in Spectre. Spectre, where we finally meet the boss of bosses and they go to the table, which happened in one of the older James Bonds, I forget which, but he goes there and they know he's there. I forget the name of the guy who plays the Spectre head. He's the Inglorious Bastards actor, tremendous actor. He's a little more downplayed than Javier, what's his name, from Old Country for Old Men in Skyfall. but yet it all comes together where they even meet with the different dummies and this and that. And he's closer than ever though this time as Bond arrives at the meeting of the Spectre group of the superstructure. He witnesses it and he confronts the wrestler. What the hell is his name? His name escapes me, but the gigantic wrestler guy who does a tremendous job. How can I forget his name? He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever. Nevertheless, he hits them head on in Spectre, whereas in the Pynchon, I don't know if we can really safely say there's any satisfaction in, except that the Allies win in World War II, but still Lieutenant Slothrop reaches a crossroads. Is there a theme of salvation in it? The I Ching, the Kabbalah, the metaphysics, the mysticism, the egre, the occult energy, thought forms. Are they resolved? The collective mind. It's not as really clear in Pynchon's. In fact, he has that quote: "If they get you asking the wrong questions, then you won't know what's going on." And now that there's another Bond movie coming, you get that feeling that it's never ending. Anyway, I find it fascinating, the octopus of Spectre and the octopus in Gravity's Rainbow. There's a connection there. How the hell I could forget the giant wrestler guy who fights Bond? I don't know. Oh yeah, Batista. He's incredible. He's a great Bond henchman. And as is Monica Bellucci. She plays the presumably high up wife of a mafia man somehow connected into the supergroup of Spectre. Are these things based in reality? What Pynchon is saying, what Ian Fleming is saying. You bet your ass they are. That's what the Stosh vlog is all about. There's some reality to this. There's some fakery. Truth, lies, and reality all mixed up. Hope you like this vlog. I worked quasi hard on it. And God bless and good luck. Let me know what you think. How am I doing? I need editing, I know, of course. I need mics. I've been demonetized. I've been demoralized, but I still continue. Have a good one. God bless. Take care. Share this vlog.